Let's take a quick look at coolant testing. The radiator cap or coolant reservoir pressure cap should never be removed when the vehicle is hot. Serious burns and injury will occur. The first tool that we will look at is the coolant hydrometer. This tool checks the specific gravity of the coolant mix. What that means is it's testing the density of the coolant versus a standard. This is useful in knowing the mix of the coolant and therefore the freezing point of the coolant. These tools are cheap and plentiful at parts stores and other sources. That does not mean that they are the best tool for the job. Hydrometers can vary in accuracy depending on temperature in which you're conducting your tests, and also if there are just too many bubbles in the coolant. So this is a tool that is quick and easy to use, but it is not the best tool for testing the coolant condition. It also only gives you a visual guide to the condition of the coolant because it's in a clear body, but it does not give you any data that you can collect on the condition. To use the hydrometer, we need to gather a coolant sample from either the radiator or our coolant reservoir. To do so, simply insert the tube into the reservoir, squeeze the bulb, and draw coolant into the tool. We need to make sure that the coolant goes all the way up to the level marked on our tool so we can get an accurate reading. We can then pull it out, pinch off our tube, and get a reading. Our reading is on this side of the scale. We have it in Celsius and Fahrenheit, and we can look at the coolant mix here is approximately just below -20 degrees Fahrenheit. Visually, the condition of my coolant does not look cloudy or dirty. Let's now take a look at the coolant refractometer. To use my coolant refractometer, I need to grab a small sample of coolant from the reservoir and put it on the window of my tool. The sample needs to be large enough that it covers the window completely when I shut the lid over the window. Now I can hold it up to a strong light source and look in my viewing window and focus it to get my reading. To read the refractometer, hold the viewfinder to your eye and focus as you hold the window towards a strong light source. The line formed between the color and white section will be your reading. Be sure to look at the correct scale for the coolant that you are using. The refractometer will give you a percentage of coolant versus water reading, as well as a freeze point temperature. The coolant refractometer is an accurate testing tool because it measures how light bends or refracts as it moves through the coolant mix. This is not affected by temperature or any other condition during testing and makes it very accurate. The reading on my refractometer said that I had 39% ethylene glycol and it was good to -10 degrees Fahrenheit. This would indicate I need to strengthen my coolant mix to be better protected for cold winters. Coolant test strips gives you the ability to measure the mix and freeze point of the coolant along with the acidity of the coolant and the condition of the additive package. Always be sure to use the correct test strip for the type of coolant that you are testing. To use the coolant test strip, simply dip it in the reservoir that you are testing. Once you remove it, you should see that the test strips have changed color. I now compare my coolant strip to the key provided on the bottle. Be sure to always follow the instructions on your particular brand of test strips. Once your analysis is complete, you can make coolant service recommendations based upon them. You can also attach the coolant test strip to the work order. As the coolant deteriorates, we can see galvanic or electrolytic metal erosion occur. This is essentially the same effect as a car battery because of the similar metals in our cooling system and the coolant acting as an electrolyte. We can test this using our DVOM. To test my coolant, I have my DVOM set on DC volts in the millivolt scale. I also have my black lead secured to a good ground. I now simply immerse my red lead into the coolant. Ideally, we should see under 200 millivolts. Using these coolant test methods, we can determine that this particular vehicle needs some coolant service done as a preventative maintenance.
That was a quick overview on coolant testing. Please leave any questions in the comments. Please remember to like and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching.